Hey everybody, Jason Bermas here. And over the past few days, there's been a lot of chatter over Bill Gates squirming on national television once again after being asked about Jeffrey Epstein. And this is the conundrum, right? The mainstream media knows that that's a huge story, knows it has to ask the question as this mainstream mockingbird journalist opens with. But if you watch these pieces, it's just tremendous because Bill Gates acknowledges how much he's disliked. Everything and every criticism of him, of course, is a conspiracy theory, is bizarre, right? Despite the fact that he is in allegiance openly. I mean, forget about all the foundations and the connections, via the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation to mRNA technology, all the way back in 2013 via the strategic partnership and collaboration with other companies such as, of course, Moderna, AstraZeneca, Merck. We'll show you those. Okay, forget about all those things, but in alignment with a World Economic Forum. I mean, you go back to, I believe it's 99. Maybe one of the initial ones. And Bill Gates is sitting up there as Klaus McGee is opening the forum all the way back. You know, we might have to do a watch along with that, okay? And if you don't think a bunch of people that are telling you that you will own nothing and be happy, and we're going to play what the World Economic Forum thinks could stay post-pandemic, put this propaganda out probably about a year ago. Okay, and you don't understand why you're disliked. I mean, it's bizarro world. Now, I do want to reiterate before we even get going that a lot of my Epstein stuff has now been taken down due to cyberbullying. And if you go to the Rockfin, this video behind me, Whitney Webb explains the Epstein and Gates relationship you won't hear about. We are going to touch on some of that here. And basically the narrative goes like this. Bill Gates met, and they don't say met for the first time, but they frame it that way, with Jeffrey Epstein post his conviction in the Tampa cases. But as Whitney has well documented, if you look at this guy and where he was putting his money, Epstein in particular, it was in a place of not only he was connected to the fashion world via Wexner. He was in the marketplace for realty and property, also seems to be connected to Wexner. As you know, Wexner gave him that mansion for $1. I mean, wow. Not talking about that much. We're not talking about a lot of things in the Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell case that we're going to touch upon here. So he's in that. And then you find out Harvard and other institutions, and then forget about it. He's got a baby-making ranch, allegedly. New York Times broke that one. That's never been investigated in Zorro Ranch. So the guy is literally into eugenics, transhumanism. He has intelligence connections. I mean, are you getting it? Are you understanding what's going on? And because of that, apparently we did too much, and cyberbullying took that one down. So I would encourage people to check that out after we go into this, because there's a lot of new information. We're actually going to be touching on the Nexium case that seemed to have gone away. And now Claire Bronfman with her billions of dollars. Remember, her whole legal team, they threw Raniere to the wolves, but now he's appealing as well. Okay, he's actually alleging that the FBI set him up and put child pornography on his computer. I mean, that thing was connected to all sorts of people. Forget about just the Bronfmans. That went down to Mexico, was connected to the ex-president's son. They had a rainbow cultural garden all over the world, which was this nursery school, right? This preschool, where they were actually bringing in underage girls as teachers under the guise of them teaching languages to these kids. Just really bizarre stuff that never gets covered. So we're going to be covering it here. We're going to be playing some clips, a whole lot of clips actually. So buckle the truck up, thumbs it up, subscribe, and share. I do want to let everybody know that if you are a subscriber here on YouTube or not, all of my documentary films are still up here somehow, some way. And even the NXIVM symposium that I taped, and I did a lot of work on NXIVM. You look at this Epstein stuff. I haven't updated this in forever, but Epstein was connected to charities with Elton John. I mean, all sorts of documents were sealed. Give me a break. But all the documentary films, they're up there. They're free. They're important. Remember to Rockfin. That's where you can find the vast majority of my material that has been taken down by YouTube. And then, of course, Odyssey's backed up my YouTube channel. So a lot of the stuff that they've taken down posthumously, in other words, it's already streamed out there, basically is still there. So you want to check that out as well. And we are on Podbean. You want the audio versions. We also have the vidcast there. All right, let's go. Let's do this thing. First of all, I want to highlight this. The warden at Epstein jail quietly retires amid the federal probe. This happened a few weeks ago. A lot of people, again, have not been reporting on this. But I want to put this out there because people don't understand. Every time something like this happens, we don't have the videotapes. We don't have them. Oh, people were asleep, no videotapes. And the thing with the Epstein case is it happened twice. That's incredible. And I watched, this warden basically get thrown to the wolves. But, it wasn't really thrown to the wolves. They're just like, boy, you did a bad job. If you looked at it, I mean, they housed El Chapo here. They didn't have a suicide in that wing, I believe. And I may be misquoting this, but it was over a decade, and I think it was like 13 years. And that hearing's probably a year plus ago. Okay? Let's put that into perspective. So, first they charge the guards. Then the guards are exonerated after the fact because they kept their mouths shut. I mean, the whole case reeks. And then Bill Barr says, hey, don't worry. Bill Barr, he goes, don't worry. I looked into it. I thought there might have been some corruption too. What? Are you kidding me? So that's, a story that hasn't been around. And quietly, again, these things happen quietly. Federal judge reduces Ghislaine Max's sentence by 10 years. So already has shaved off 10 years of what she could get max. And don't think there won't be an appeal. Don't think these lawyers aren't working harder than ever to get this woman out of there. Okay? And then, like I said, Bronfman's right now, okay? Claire Bronfman, who just already had a sweetheart deal on this thing. Already had a sweetheart deal on this bizarre NXIVM sex cult that was involved with children. Okay? I want to point that out. Okay? Everything we know about Rainbow Cultural Garden, NXIVM's group for kids. This was a trafficking operation and, a modern day mind control operation, the likes of which many had never seen. Okay? And in many cases, the funding, Raniere didn't have the funding, and they'll have you believe that he just had such hold over the Bronfmans and these people. And there was all sorts of hacking going on. That was another. If you want to, again, in that playlist, there's a symposium. There's a lot of really great information there. And, I even did a little mini documentary back in the day for We Are Change when I was covering NXIVM. So I would suggest everybody check that out. Now, to the eugenics deal. And then we're going to get to some of these videos, okay? To the eugenics deal. Jeffrey Epstein wanted to turn New Mexico ranch into a baby-making factory. Now, let's pull it back, okay? Take a good look-ski and hutch at the nice little helipad and the fact they're on a desert hill and mountain, okay? Take a good look. None of this was ever investigated, this whole area. And, we know that he was seed funding all of these different operations. He was meeting with all of these powerful players. Okay? And according to Maria Farmer, in the New York residence in particular, there were cameras everywhere, and there was a man's staff watching those cameras. Forget about just taping them, watching those cameras in real time. Okay? That's big. That's huge. And remember, she went to the FBI and the NYPD in 1996. It's not until we get to the Palm Beach case that we even see the light of day on this thing, where he gets just the most magnificent of sweetheart deals. And again, the media will have you believe that, there's no relationship with Gates prior to after that conviction. But I, again, would encourage people to check out Whitney Webb's work. All right, let's go to the clips. I mean, look how uncomfortable this guy looks. All right, let's just play the clip.
I have to ask you about Jeffrey Epstein. Melinda mentioned that was one of the strains, your relationship with him. And, why? I guess the question is real simple. I mean, why did you continue to meet with him? When you met him, he was already a convicted sex offender. And do you regret?
He hates it. Because you know what? They ran with every Gates narrative you could ever run with on this show. They ran with every single one that he's the best thing since Bragg. He's like, yeah, what do you mean? Don't you know I'm on the Good Guys Club? Literally, we're the super rich friends. We're here to help everybody. It's me, it's Ted Turner, it's Michael Bloomberg, it's Oprah, Mr. Soros, Warren Buffett, all great guys. I think I'm making that up. And on this same Today Show, more than a decade earlier, they ran that story when it was open that they were talking about curbing overpopulation. All right? And now, he sits here, he gets lauded by them, and now it's the Epstein question. Look at the sour look on his face.
I certainly made a huge mistake, not only meeting him in the first place, but I met with him a number of times. I had a goal of raising money for global health. I didn't realize that meeting with him almost downplayed the incredibly awful things he did. I learned more about that over time, but I'd add that to the list of big mistakes, including where Melinda's advice was sound, and I should have followed it sooner than I did.
You never saw anything where you thought, this doesn't feel right. Melinda kind of had a visceral reaction the first time she met him.
No, he was a bad person, and I had a reason that I thought those meetings would lead to something good, but I shouldn't have done them.
I shouldn't have done them. Don't worry, we're going to get to these World Economic Forum videos in a minute. Again, the way we're just going to keep going. And you wonder, and Bill Gates, again, in that interview, wonders why people don't like him. Okay? Well, here it is right here. This is, he's got to say the mea culpas. This is the one where he's really put on the spot. I love this one. This is a gravy train with biscuit wheels, because at the end, he basically says what he means. He's like, well, I guess you should be careful. He's dead.
It was reported at that time that you had a number of meetings with Jeffrey Epstein, who, when you met him 10 years ago, he was convicted of soliciting prostitution from minors. What did you know about him when you were meeting with him, as you've said yourself, in the hopes of raising money?
I had dinners with him. I regret doing that. He had relationships with people he said, would give to global health, which is a interest I have. Not nearly enough philanthropy goes in that direction.
He loves, this guy obviously loves us. I don't know why I've been so critical of him. Global health.
Those meetings were a mistake. They didn't result in what he purported, and I cut them off. That goes back a long time ago now. So there's nothing new on that.
It was reported that you continued to meet with him over several years, and that, in other words, a number of meetings. What did you do when you found out about his background?
Well, I've said I regretted having those dinners, and there's absolutely nothing new on that.
Is there a lesson for you, for anyone else looking at this?
Well, he's dead, so in general, you always have to be careful. And I'm very.
Listen, that's the quiet part out loud. He's dead, and in general, you better be careful. Think about it. They burned a pretty big asset right there. They really, and that's the thing. They didn't want to have to burn Epstein. They would have loved to let him go on with his whole operation. But it's one of those things that if you keep on a case and you continue to push and push and push and tell the truth, and then other people that are connected with you start going down, like Weinstein, right? And people start being aware of things like Black Cube, well, then all of a sudden other people like Jean-Luc Brunel are also hanging themselves in Spain, in prisons. Let's not forget that. Nobody's talking about that. Okay? Yeah, and like Bill Gates said, you better be careful. That's the lesson to all this, to be careful. Now, I want to play 2 more clips for you, and then we're going to move on from this video. I want you to thumbs it up, subscribe, and share. I do want to apologize. I was going to do this the other night, and I had a power surge through my house where everything just started flickering and went off, and I had to have an electrician come in, and that is why I didn't put this video out sooner, because I was scheduled to do so. But we seem to be going good now. So here it is. Here's Bill Gates telling you that you don't really have a right to do anything. This is why Bill Gates loves you. You don't have a right to anything. Bill Gates will tell you when you put things in your body and what you put in your body. Okay, I want to make that extremely clear. But Bill Gates doesn't know why people might not like him.
But you don't have a choice. People act like you have a choice. People don't feel like going to the stadium when they might get infected. It's not the government who's saying, okay, just ignore this disease. And, people are deeply affected by seeing these deaths, by knowing they could be part of the transmission chain. And, old people, their parents, their grandparents could be affected by this. And so you don't get to say, ignore what's going on here. There will be the ability, particularly in rich countries, to open up if things are done well over the next few months. But for the world at large, normalcy only returns when we've largely vaccinated the entire global population. And so
the entire global population, he wonders why he's not the beloved savior that he portrays himself as. So now we're going to play, a little video from the people that he's aligned with. Okay, the World Economic Forum. We're not going to play the little music and the boop, 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 boop music. No, we don't need that. Okay, but we're going to read some of the things because they want you to keep them. And by the way, everybody wonders why I harp on NASA. They even brag in this. Don't worry. You'll be able to keep your mask when it all goes down again. Great. You'll be able to keep your mask when it all goes down again, because we're going to use NASA technology to hone on your heartbeat. I love NASA so much because it has a signature much like a fingerprint. So we can just, we'll do that for you. It's good stuff. So we'll keep all this stuff. Okay? This is how we're going to just change your life for the better, for good. Okay? Yeah, we're going to reimagine those offices. It's all about telework. Let's make sure that we need to isolate people more. Okay? These offices are going to be client showrooms, right? And everything's got Purell all the places. Isn't that cool? Yeah, we're going to have 15-minute spaces so you can live in big, cramped cities, little hubs. Yeah. That way you don't have to commute much to an office. They might have little gyms and bars and galleries. It's hip. It's nouveau. Okay? Networking opportunities. We don't want you to walk more than 15 minutes. Cloud markets. Think ghost kitchens. Lovely. Yeah. No, we don't want you to meet up with people. We want everything delivered. We want your face covered. But this is why we love them. Look, we're going to just identify you through your heartbeat. Okay, facial recognition systems are often stumped by masks after all. But your heartbeat is just as unique as your face. Thank you, NASA. Thank you, NASA, because they have an ID system for that using a laser. Oh, wow. And it's all about indoctrinating your children over the web. Yep. And listen, I'm all for the homeschooling. But they're going to literally have AI teachers in place in 10 or 15 years. That's the goal. They're taking the humanity out of it. Take a look at that. Oh, we're outside. It's the best of everything. And remember, a lot of these technologies could actually be used to empower us. But the people at the top, let's be honest, they're loving like Bill Gates. They would never, ever, ever try to enslave us on behalf of a great reset and great narrative agenda that's just repackaged New World Order garbage on the move to transhumanism, right? That's not what's happening. So, guys, we didn't even get 100 thumbs up over on the YouTubeage. Come on, guys, we can do better. And I do want to thank the folks who are watching over at Rockfin. If you go to the top of if you go over to Rockfin, ROKFIN.com/Jason Bermas, go make the free account, and you go into the live chat, scroll all the way up, and I have the direct link to the Whitney Webb over an hour interview where you can talk, where, again, cyberbullying here on YouTube. They took that one down. Daylight in the Swamp, good morning. Wake and Bake with Jason Bermas. Yay, Gates is the worst. We really need... I can't say that now. We love Bill Gates here. We can't get enough of him. So if you're new to the channel, you know the deal. Guys, the documentary films, they're all free. And you know the ways to down there to support me. It's $9.99 a month for Rockfin, $99.99 for the year. Make sure you do it on a desktop and endorse Jason Bermas, and then you get everybody's premium content, and it helps this show grow. So I love you, and I'll see you on the flip side.